Alright guys, so today I wanted to make a video talking all about Jankos. I did one of these the other day for Yike, this kind of like roundup of just all the latest information, all the different possibilities, all the rumors, all the things we have heard, and then some more interesting detail stories, all that good stuff. And then today, that video did really well, so today I want to try and do this same thing for Jankos. Maybe we can figure out what the future has in store for him. So we did have some recent clips of Jankos, talking about some different stuff. He's actually streaming right now, so we do have a very, very recent clip of him actually talking about his future. And then I also spoke with Wooloo and got some details about the teams that might be interested or not interested in Jankos and what the future outlook is looking like for him. So that's the plan today. We're going to get into this. First up, I have a couple of these clips. This is from the Sack Down, where Jankos was actually talking about, kind of the state of the market, the state of his future, what's going on here. I think I want to drag myself over to this side. So I want to let a couple of these clips play first, just to give some context of where we had seen things previously. Again, this clip I saw on Twitter on October 19th, so it's a couple days old, but this is what had been going on.
I'm probably not gonna sign a contract until my free agency, and then if I end up teamless and I end up not playing for next split, that's completely fine with me. If I end up, going back to LEC in summer next year, or in spring, or in championship split, or maybe in 2026, or maybe I will have a team actually next year. I don't know, right? But I'm trying to, what I am doing, just because I think maybe a question like that would appear, maybe not, I'm not sure. But either way, what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to consider, did I get offers? Yes. Were the offers something I couldn't refuse? No, I think these offers were something I could refuse and I could think about it. And it's coming from the side of a player that I really want my last year in LEC to be better than the year with Heretics this year and last year. I think I would be I would love to finish on a peak and not on a low. But at the same time, I'm like we mentioned all before, I'm shitless scared for my future. And if I, let's say, play 1 more year or 2 more years in LAC, where my stream is going to end up, because I can already see it declining over the last 2-3 years ever since I left G2.
So we can obviously see there that Jankos is being pretty thoughtful about his decision-making process because, one, he does care about, he's a competitive guy. He cares about winning or ending his career on a high and not just kind of, playing for the sake of playing or whatever. So he says he did actually get some offers. Now, I don't know exactly what offers what teams those were offering him or whatever, but he says they were offers that, he didn't, it seems like he wasn't blown away by those offers. The offers weren't so good. Now, is he talking specifically about money? Is he talking about the roster? Because again, he does say he wants his last year or last 2 years or whatever to be better than his year with Heretics was or his time with Heretics was. But he also talks about the fact that he could realistically see himself sitting out a split or 2 splits or coming back, or even sitting out the entire 2025 season and still coming back in 2026. So that's something interesting to note. Just because we don't see Jankos in spring, or just because we don't see Jankos in 2025 at all, that does not mean his career is over. But of course, also he does talk about how, it scares him because he has seen his stream numbers declining since he left G2. And obviously his stream is kind of like his post-career plans. He needs to make money. He still wants to, be successful. It's still a very big career thing for him. So again, still, playing in the LEC means taking time away from his stream, and if he, becomes a less popular player or doesn't get to stream as often or doesn't get to be a part of big things, like co-streaming and all these awesome things that Riot has been doing for a ton of streamers recently, he could definitely start to fall behind in that regard as well, and that could mess up maybe even the rest of his life and plans like that and stuff. So that, I think, was something interesting to note, but that got us to this most recent clip. Again, by the time I'm looking at this clip is 41 minutes old. This is Jankos just a little bit ago on his stream. This clip is titled Jankos on his future, where obviously I guess the chat was asking him, hey, what's going on, what's your future, what are your plans, are we going to see in the LEC, and here's what Jankos had to say about that.
Basically, chat, I don't really know exactly what I'm gonna be doing next year, but there's a pretty high chance I will not be playing competitively. But maybe not for the whole year. Maybe at least for the beginning of the year. I will see. I mean, there's still a chance I will play, but there's a pretty decent chance I will not.
So, obviously, that's what Jankos had to say. And again, he is hinting at the fact, again, that things are not necessarily looking as good for him. Now, again, is that because teams aren't showing interest? He isn't getting the offers that he likes or wants or whatever? I don't know. Obviously, a big part of the problem is that a lot of teams are already filling in their jungle position. He does say that it's not looking very good. There's a very, very high likelihood that he will not be playing, at least in the spring at the beginning. He says it is still possible. He doesn't know for sure. I think another big thing in all of this is, we have heard the fact that a lot of teams are going budget. A lot of teams are cutting back. And it even seems like people had talked forever about like, oh, Jankos should go to NA. He should go get his big paycheck and stuff. But it seems like the feel around the league is that even the LCS obviously is cutting back in terms of salaries and spending and all that. And now there's less LCS teams, less places to go. So maybe the market's just not necessarily in the best place right now. But again, if we do look around, we will see in terms of the open jungle positions, we have K-Corp, we have Giant X, and we have Rogue, and that is it for right now. So obviously that is part of, I'm sure, the issue that Jankos is running into, that a lot of teams have already locked in their jungle spots, and that just means there's not very many opportunities left. And there's still some very, very good junglers out there available. Again, Yike is still out there. Closer is still out there. There are still some big names that are remaining unsigned without teams for 2025 as well. But again, so then I talked to Wooloo, and Wooloo did give me a little bit of information as well. He said KC and Jankos had discussed a possible offer. So obviously there has been discussions between K-Corp and Jankos at some point throughout this offseason. Obviously it seems like those must not be going that well. If Jankos does say, hey, I think there's a high likelihood that I don't think I'll be in there. Is that because KC is closing in on another option? Is that because they just can't agree on terms or money or a roster that Jankos is going to like or whatever? I'm not exactly sure. That's definitely something there. Rogue is interested in Jankos. So that is another thing that Wooloo said. So that is a good thing there. Obviously for Jankos, meaning that there is at least one team that has shown some kind of interest in him. But Wooloo does say it is very possible to see him take a split off with him streaming and then obviously try to return back in the summer or something like that. Wooloo then did follow up with me and say that KC does seem unlikely at this point. He also said, this is pretty interesting, that Giant X is not interested in Jankos. That is what Wooloo has told me, in talks with him and stuff. And then he says all other teams do have a jungle. And then, of course, Rogue not being able to make offers yet due to uncertainties about the org is another big roadblock and hard thing for Jankos going on right now. So that is kind of all the latest information we have about Jankos at this point. It is very interesting. Obviously, Jankos is a big name player. He's a player that has a huge fan base. People like him. And at his best, he can be very, very good. Now, again, was Jankos, is he washed? Is he past his prime? Was he just maybe not as good last year because he was on not as good of a team? If you got Jankos into a good, exciting roster this next season, could he be exciting? We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. That is a big question mark. I know a lot of people seem to still really believe in Jankos and want to see him come back and be stronger than ever. But Jankos also seems like he's at a time where he is okay with sitting out. He is okay waiting for the right offer, for the right roster, for the right opportunity. Or maybe he's just saying that because the right opportunities haven't popped up. Who knows? I don't know for sure. But then some other people argue like, hey, if you are so focused on your streaming career and if you're okay with sitting out and blah, 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 then like maybe you're not totally locked in. Maybe you're not focused. Maybe we don't even want you. I don't know. It's this whole big deal. But that does seem kind of like the latest for Jankos. Giant X not interested. K-Corp has shown some interest, but it seems unlikely. Rogue could be interested, but they have their whole, trying to move their organization, trying to sell, trying to, move on. And then whatever organization comes in after that, are they going to want Jankos, whatever? It's this whole thing. So there's only 3 open jungle spots, and they all seem to be having significant roadblocks or significant hurdles in terms of Jankos actually getting into the LEC. But that's the latest for this one today. Want to get all the information out to you guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then, peace. Everything we are doing here at Sheep Esports for the rest of 2024 is powered by Holy. This is an awesome company that makes great tasting energy drinks that also just so happen to be healthier than the competition as well. They sent me this starter set deluxe, which comes with a Holy shaker and then 14 individual servings of Holy Energy, Holy Hydration, and Holy Iced Tea. So you get a ton of awesome stuff for a great price. And if you want to get even better price, check out the first link in the description below. Use discount code SE5 to get €5 off your first order, or SE10 to get 10% off your entire basket. If you guys want to help continue to allow us to provide the amazing coverage of both Worlds and the offseason that you guys know and love, definitely check out Holy, buy some stuff. It would mean the world to us. Thanks.